Hi everybody. It is late in the evening, and rather than take up extra time on the floor to give my floor speech, I'm going to read it to you here today, and I'm going to share it on my platforms. What I say and how I vote today will not change today's outcome on the budget. My vote on this budget, as a Democrat in the minority, won't change the passage, but I was elected by the people of the 52nd to be their voice and bring their voice into this chamber. I use this time for them. So I am speaking for Julie, Benji, and Carol, and Larry, and Sarah, and Travis, and Taylor, and all the people who put me here to fight for working people, families, seniors, and kids. Because this budget, it ain't it when it comes to helping them, especially in light of the devastating cuts that we see coming down from the federal government's big, bad bullshit bill. We had an opportunity to truly craft a budget that would have been a lifeline for Wisconsin families and workforce. And I will acknowledge that the governor and the minority leader in the Senate did a pretty good job of making it a little bit better. But instead, we do have a budget still that says no to providing care for new mothers and their infants. It says no to any general aid to our public schools. That's money in the classrooms. It says no to keeping your property taxes down. It says no to mass transit and passenger rail and health care for everyone. It says no to stewardship and local government aid and affordable housing and so many more items our community has told me that they support and they need. And why? To offer a tax cut that doesn't even cover the cost of a 16-ounce latte at Starbucks. Folks are hearing the spin on increases to special education reimbursement, but let's take a closer look. Appleton Area School District has had to move $26 million from general funds to cover the cost of special education reimbursement that the state has failed to provide. Over time, this amounts to higher class ratios, staffing cuts, and poorer outcomes for our kids. Appleton is currently looking at a $12 million budget deficit. And even with this budget, they will be millions short, requiring them to go to an operational referendum. I hope some of my Fox Valley colleagues are paying attention to, because the Menasha School District is also suffering. Even with this budget, Menasha schools still face just under $1 million in deficit. Schools continue to face significant gaps because Republicans have habitually refused to provide sufficient state aid. We have starved public schools for decades, and the crumbs in this budget simply do not begin to make up for the trench that years and years of scarcity budgets have thrown them into. Communities like mine throughout the Fox cities are looking at either raising property taxes again to cover these costs, or gutting school programs and letting go of teachers, or even closing schools. None of this is good for our communities, and underfunding schools is not fiscally responsible. Make no mistake, when school districts are forced to go to referendum to ask you to raise your own property taxes, you can send a thank you note to your local Republican. Every single person I spoke to over the last 2 years at businesses or roundtables, or frankly just in passing, told me about their desire for the state to prioritize childcare. Childcare is a workforce issue. It is a kitchen table issue. It is a family affordability issue, and it is a healthy outcomes for children issue. So what are we doing with this budget? Well, there is minimal funding for providers for 1 year only, and the second year forces these providers to take up policy changes that go against the recommendations of pediatricians and early childhood experts. It forces them to choose between maybe some small additional second year funding or mandated policy changes in a classroom that raise ratios and lower teacher qualifications. I'm just going to read you a little bit of what people have said, providers have said about the child care portions in this budget. Quote, "This wasn't a win. Small investment for only a year and proposals that allow dangerous deregulation, including lowering the minimum age to 16 for teachers and increasing ratios, does not align with the National Association for the Education of Young Children. This is terrifying. This is not worthy of applause." Or this comment, lowering the age to 16 and allowing 1 teacher to 7 toddlers is not a win. It is a dangerous situation for children and a stressor for staff. We can make the decision as owners not to do this. So this is a decision that I will make. And the funding is less than we are receiving now, and it only lasts 1 year. My staff has worked hard to get credentials and degrees in early childhood. They work hard to provide an environment that is safe and nurturing and what is best for young children to reach their milestones. This is a slap in the face to their dedication. I agree. And also, I am sick of hearing Republicans and their remarks thinking that they have us on a gotcha because the governor is signing this budget. The governor did his part in doing what he feels is right for his role, and I'm doing my part in what I feel is right for mine. I don't carry water for the governor. I carry water for the people of the 52nd. And the people of Wisconsin, the people of my district, want more than a tax break that will net them an extra $5 a week. That's right, you can look it up. They want strong public schools, they want protection for our natural spaces, they want safe communities and affordable housing and affordable childcare and more. This budget fails to address many of those needs. It doesn't go far enough in others, and I simply cannot support this budget with my vote. We had so much potential to do the right thing, and once again, we fell short. Thanks for your time, everybody.